Hey guys, Taylem here. Welcome to my special Skyrim modding series that will be followed up by an in-character playthrough of the entire game of Skyrim, including its DLCs. Now, there are some of you that are probably wondering why I am even bothering with Skyrim. It is a 5-year-old game. Well, the simple answer is there is no game out, even the new Fallout 4, that offers the amount of modability and replayability as Skyrim. And for that reason alone, I'm sure many of you are curious if you can mod Skyrim yourself for a whole new experience. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. And with this series, I am going to go step by step, fairly slow and detailed, so each of you who are the novice to modding can mod the game and experience it in ways that you never before conceived of. So stick with me, and just, if you want to, just go ahead and follow the step-by-step. Do on your screen as I'm doing on mine, and I guarantee you're going to have a blast with this game. There's nothing more I can say about it. That is just God's honest truth. I promise you. So the first step that we are going to do with this process is we are going to configure Skyrim, the basic setup, as well as the creation kit, because you will inevitably need the creation kit. Now, don't let that worry you. Don't let that intimidate you. It's actually fairly easy, and I'm confident in your abilities to handle it. Now, this, of course, is overall, it's a long process, but the end result is going to be fun. So this series is going to be broken up into several videos, and as they come out, just go ahead and do the setup. Now, I am going to attempt to release these one after the other, because I don't want people to get stuck in their setup for any long period of time. So by the time the final video is released, this first one will have been recorded weeks in advance. So just let you know that this video you're listening to right now was actually made weeks ago to when you're actually listening to it. That's because I want this to be done right. I want this to be clearly understood, because the modding community is very important to me, and the forerunners in the modding community, like the Great Gopher and some modders such as Chesco and Onward, are just they are gods to me. So I want to do this right to make sure that I don't offend the powers that be with any inaccurate nonsense. So just stick with me, and it's going to be a blast. All right, let's go ahead and just jump into the first step, which is configuring Skyrim. All right, guys, here we are at the desktop, and I want you to go ahead and open your Skyrim install. Now, if this is the first time that you're running the game, it's a fresh install. You will get this detecting video hardware box. Just go ahead and click OK. It does this thing real quick, and then you're done. What I need you to do is go into options and go ahead and click it open. Now, if when you did the detecting and it showed something less than ultra, that is fine. But before we continue, real quick, I do want to show you guys this right here. This is on the NVIDIA website. This is the minimum and the recommended requirements for Skyrim. Now, on the recommended here, this is pretty much something everybody should have at this point. If your computer is not at least at the recommended, then I would suggest stopping the series now, because you will not be able to get a nicely smooth running Skyrim modded as we're going to mod it on the minimum specs or anything less than this. In fact, this here is even pushing it. And as we go through, I'll explain to you why. Just right now, you want to have all this here and more. I mean, 4 gigabytes of RAM. This is pretty small if you still have this now. You should have 8. If your system just can't have 8, then you really need to look into upgrading. But 4 is the minimum that you want. Same with the hard drive space and the video card. This is also super important. You want, at least in my opinion, see, a GTX 620 is pretty low rent by this point. You want to have a GTX or its equivalent AMD ATI at the NVIDIA 760 or higher. If you got anything lower than that, then you really need to look into upgrading. Those cards are inexpensive. You can get a 950 now for around $200, and it's a great card. So it's something to consider. But just make sure at least you have the recommended specs as shown right here on the screen. So with that out of the way, let's just close that window and go back to our Skyrim options. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to make a couple changes. First was anti-aliasing here. Turn that off. That is the in-game method of smoothing the edges of the graphics so you don't get the jaggedness. And we're going to do a better way of doing that, something that doesn't affect performance so badly, because the old MSAA method that this uses actually is pretty intensive on your system. So we're just going to get rid of it. And the anisotropic, we're also going to get rid of that too, because again, we're going to use a different method to use that. So let's turn both of those off. Also, make sure your resolution is set to the resolution that you want. Now, the higher resolution you go, the more taxing it is on your system. But most of you should be able to run your max resolution just fine. So set it to the resolution that you want. As far as advanced goes, the texture quality you want on high. Radial blur quality. Now you can go ahead and put this on anything that you want. Me personally, I don't like the radial blur, but I just leave it on high anyway for this game. But you can set that all the way down to low and you really won't notice a huge thing. Shadow detail and deco quality, just pump those up to ultra. Trust me on this. You want them on ultra, just pump them all the way up. FXAA, make sure that is unchecked. You do not want that checked. Have all 4 of these checked. As far as view distance, turn all those up all the way. Just turn those suckers up. The reason being is the adjustments we're going to make in-game should make this doable if your system has at least the recommended. But most of you, I'm assuming, have better than the recommended at this point. So we're going to go ahead and chuck all those up. So just pump all those up. Pump them up. All right, and then once all that done is click OK. And now we're back to this screen. Hey guys, real quick, there is a step that I forgot. Now this will only apply to some of you, so if it doesn't, just ignore this little segment. If you have a controller plugged in, a 360 controller, Skyrim in your PC will automatically default to that. Now if that's normal for you, you like to use controller, that's fine. But if you're like me and use keyboard and mouse, you hate that. And this is a way of how you prevent that from happening when you first run Skyrim. Go ahead and go into your My Documents folder, go to My Game Skyrim, and open up your Skyrim Prefs INI file. Now, once that's open up here, just go ahead to Edit Find. If you're using Notepad++, which I normally use, I just reloaded my computer from an upgrade, so I haven't done the links yet. Go ahead and search for B Gamepad Enable, and there you go. What you want to do is you want to change this 1 to a 0, and just go ahead and save it and close. And that is it. That's all you need to do to disable the controller in your Skyrim. All right, now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and just start the game up. So go ahead and click play. Hey guys, here we are inside Skyrim. Now, if you have never played Skyrim before, what you're going to need to do is you're going to go to New and you're going to start a new game. And when the Skyrim title appears on the screen, you're going to hit Escape or the Start button, whichever it is, to get to the main menu of the game. But if you have an existing vanilla save, something that has no mods attached to it, you can just go ahead and load that up. Once the character appears, go to the escape menu, and bam, you're in. But for those of you that don't have that save, just follow what I do. Just click New and click Yes, and the game's going to go ahead and start up. Excuse my raw vanilla appearances. We haven't gotten to the good parts. So yeah, the game's gonna load up. You're gonna get the title screens, all that good stuff. Love the music in this game. All right. Elder Scrolls 5, and Skyrim. Now at this point, you should be able to, mama! Anyway, that glitch that you saw there, the reason for that is the game is running at too high of a frames per second. But that's okay, because I have a really powerful machine, so that's pretty normal. But that's something we're going to fix later down the line, so don't worry about the fact that my cart just went freaking bananas. That was completely expected, because right now the game is chugging along at 140 something frames a second, and anything over 60 makes this game go ape crap. So let's go ahead, just focus. All right, just hit escape. Tab to exit that. On your keyboard, if you have a controller, hit the appropriate key and go over to settings. And then we're gonna go ahead and just hop up to gameplay. Now here, if you don't have a controller, you can disable vibration if you want. That really doesn't matter. You can just disable the controller here if you want, but we already disabled it if you have PC, mouse and keyboard. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn off all the save-ons and turn this to disabled. The reason being is that the built-in save-on system is terrible. It often causes crashes, or CTDs, crash to desktops. So we want to eliminate that possibility here and now. So disable all those, just like that. Don't worry. This game is going to teach you to save on your own often. So we're just going to disable those, because it's a lot better not to crash than to just forget to save. So, because that means it's on you and not your computer. So just do this right here and hit escape. Go over to display. Scroll down on dialogue subtitles. I'm just not speaking right today. I don't know. Maybe it's the allergies. Just go ahead and enable both of these just like that. Now, if you just hate subtitles, I mean you really hate subtitles, you can disable those, but you're going to gimp yourself on a few mods. Reason being is that there is dialogue spoken on very few, but some important ones where there is no voiceover to it. So all you will see if you don't have this checked is you will only see their lips moving, and you have no clue what the heck they are saying. Now, if that's okay with you, if you're willing to accept that every once in a while, then go ahead and leave this unchecked. I personally don't like subtitles, but for this particular game, I go ahead and enable them, because it allows me to not only see the unspoken dialogue, but when I see a word and how it's spelled, I tend to remember how it's pronounced better than just hearing it. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that toggled, just for the sake of everything I've already talked about. Now under audio, go ahead and set your volumes to however you normally like it. It's really up to you. I just leave it here at the basics. Now at this point, I'm not going to do that, but if you want to, you can change the controls to how you favor them. Alright, so if you want to go ahead and do that now, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. So once you do that, just escape out. Escape out. Whoa! I'm going to be sick. Oh no, I think I killed my horse. My horse! He was a good horse. Oh, is the other car going to go? Ooh, he's just dragging that horse along, isn't he? That's just wrong. Oh my God! Hey, it's a silly putty horse. Finally awake. What the? God, I love this game when the frame rate goes crazy. So enough with the chaos. Let's just exit out of this game. And now we're going to go on to setting up the creation kit. Darn horse. Alright guys, here we are. We're going to do the configuration of the Skyrim creation kit. But first we need to get the creation kit. So go ahead and open up your Steam window. We got your little Steam window here. Go ahead and go to Games and click on Tools. Tools! Now, I already have mine set as a favorite. If you don't have yours on the list, just search for Skyrim. And there you go. Now what you're going to do is just install it. It's going to ask you away where you want to put it. Just go ahead and slap it where you want it. Click on Agree. And let it do its thing. And we are done. Now some of you, it may take a little longer. Some of you not. Doesn't really matter. Just once it's done, it's done. What I need you to do is go ahead and run it one time. Let it load up. And once it's done loading up, exit out. The reason why we're doing that is we're allowing the program to create the appropriate INI files. All right, and once that's done, we're going to go ahead and go into the INI setup. And where that is located, well, it's located where you installed the game. So go ahead and jump on over to where you installed Skyrim. That's typically where it will be, under your Steam folder or anywhere else where you elected to put it. So we're going to go ahead and just open this up just a little bit. All right, so what we're going to look for is Skyrim editor.ini, which is this sucker right here. Go ahead and open that turkey up. All right. Once that is done, I need you to look for the General tab, which is right there on the top, not too hard to find, and go all the way to the bottom of it right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to type in the following. All right, I'm just going to paste here on the screen and have you copy it. It's lowercase b, allow multiple master loads equal 1. All right. The reason why we're adding this is that because by default, the creation kit does not allow you to have more than one master file attached to an opened ESP at any one time. This will allow you to have multiple. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go up to edit and find and go ahead and type in the following: S archive list equals. Now, once you have that inputted, you can go ahead and pause it so you can type it out if you want and hit find next. All right, and then we got this little line down here, right here, equals Skyrim. What we're going to do is we have to add a few lines so the DLC is properly registered in the creation kit. What we're going to do is we are going to add the following lines after the update.bsa. So kind of, heck, you can put this full screen if you want. Scroll to the very end here, which is here, and you're going to put in the following text. Now, this is probably a little longer than some of you want, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So go ahead. I'm just going to paste it here. As you're like, oh my God, so much disappeared. Really wasn't a whole heck of a lot, people, so relax. I'm going to highlight what you need to add. Go ahead and type that out right there. The Dawnguard.bsa, Hearthfires.bsa, Dragonborn.bsa. So once that is in place, you know what? You don't actually need the quote. Don't know why I put that there. That's all you need is exactly that. And you are good for that particular part. Now, you can go ahead and just save it if you wish. And we need to locate one more line for one more alteration. Go ahead to edit find and type in S resource archive list 2 equals. Let's pause it here if you need to type that out. Yep. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? And just find it. It was like, oh my God, it was right there. I know. Unnecessary step, but hey, it's just easier to keep things in format for people. All right, now, after you find that line, you're going to add the exact same line that you added above. So you can go ahead and just like, what am I doing? There we go. You can just go ahead and copy that if you want, just to make it easier. And boom, paste. And that's all you need to do. Click File, Save, and close it. Close this if you want. And then there you go. The initial setup of the creation kit is done. Now, there are a few more little tweaks that we need to do. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into those. All right, guys, for this next step, it's one that I don't understand why we even have to do. I mean, I understand why, but I don't understand why Bethesda made us have to do it. So what we're going to do is I need you to navigate to your Skyrim installation folder. You should know where that is. Typically, it's under your Steam Apps Common Skyrim directory. So go ahead, and once you're in there, you're going to click on your data folder, and you're going to find your scripts archive. Now, if you for some reason you can't open archives, you need to download a program such as 7-zip, Renoir, or WinZip, go ahead and stop this video and do that now, because you should have it already done. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open it. Now, the reason why is that for some reason they elected to have all the necessary scripts and such needed for the creation kit. So what you're going to do is you're going to select them, and you're going to extract them to the data folder itself. Here, you do not want it in a subfolder. So go ahead and just drop it in and let it work its magic to get it all out there. Now, this could take a couple minutes because there is a whole bunch of teeny tiny little files. All right, and we're done. So you can go ahead and close the archive. You can just leave this here. In fact, it's better if you do. And that particular step is done. All right, guys, the next step for the setting up the creation kit, you will need a Nexus Mods account. Now, this is free. All it takes is a few minutes of your time, and you should already have one, to be honest with you, if you're attempting to mod this game, because it's by far the best site for that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop this in here. Now, if you don't know how to make an account, it's actually very easy. You know, there's a big button that says make an account. Just go ahead and make it. And I will provide a link below to this particular page to save you some time. But what we're doing is we're going to install the Papyrus compiler patch for 64-bit systems. This is necessary to allow the creation kit to work in conjunction with Mod Organizer when using a 64-bit computer. What you're going to do is once you're logged in and can download everything, you're going to go to Files, and right here, you're just going to go ahead and download manually. Pick your location. It should automatically put it wherever it needs to go. And once it's done, just go ahead and run it. What this going to do is it's going to just run a patch. It's very, very, very freaking simple. Very easy. You know, the target file, you just need to find the Papyrus compiler, which will be in your installation directory for Skyrim right there. Boom. Click on it, click open. There you go, and click start. Successfully patched. Boom. Really quick, really easy, not much involved in it. And that's all you need to do for that particular step. Alright guys, that's all for the basic setup of Skyrim and the configuration of the creation kit. The next video is going to go into setting up of Mod Organizer, probably the greatest tool ever created for the modding of Bethesda games. So please join me for that video. It's a very important step. You don't want to skip it, or else all of this will be for naught. Alright guys, this is Taylem, and I will see you then.